Exercise 1 is a ball reverse crunch variation. I want you to start with your hands on the floor and squeezing a ball between your legs and go light like a 2, 4, or 6 pounder, mainly to activate your pelvic floor and improve low back positioning. You notice I also have an ab mat here to extend the range of motion, encourage more extension at the bottom for more strength and muscle gain. You got to really push those arms down hard into the floor if they're at your side, which is harder to do. It's actually a little bit easier with the arms overhead, either pushing against a wall or holding onto a heavy pair of dumbbells. You could also do this on a bench or table and hook your arms over the top and secure yourself that way to get more stability. But the big focus here is posterior pelvic tilt. So we are imagining a cup of water on our lower abdomen area. We're pouring that water towards our face and holding that for a good count and a nice good slow 3 to 5 second eccentric. Now this one's super advanced. I'm doing it without a ball between my legs because the load might be too much. Notice the extreme range of motion here. This can be problematic for the low back if you're not ready. You're not doing the spinal stretching and the ball mobility flow. So be careful, don't force the range of motion, and really make sure you're ready for this. After hitting the lower abs, we're moving on to your posterior chain. That's the entire back, glutes, high hamstrings, even some calf here as well with the straight-legged back extension variation using a ball. Now, you can obviously do this with body weight, but the whole point is here to load up and challenge ourselves for a 5 to 10 rep range. Nice, good, slow, eccentric portion. Bear hugging the ball is easier if that same load wants to be more challenging and you find you can do sets of 10 no problem with the ball bear hug squeezed, which really engages your core, kind of locks in your trunk so you move only through the hips. Just put that ball behind your head. Now, if you don't have a back extension machine, you can modify with a stability or big medicine ball. You don't get as much range of motion, but you can still really get a great lower back and entire backside workout here. Big focus again is to squeeze the glutes at the top, keep a nice good abdominal engagement so we don't hyperextend the low back. You are working the low back, but we're not trying to drive too much motion through the low back. You can also extend that ball overhead and make a really lightweight feel heavy by lengthening the lever. Same concepts apply. The third and final exercise to hit more of the anterior core, also hip flexors, the whole rectus abdominis area here, that six pack that everybody wants to really shape up and harden and create those nice ridges, that washboard midsection, is a ball sit-up or crunch variation. Now, my favorite option is to do these feet anchored, which does give you more strength. It also engages the hip flexors more. It's ideal on a decline surface to make lightweight feel heavy. You can also, if you want, whether it be at the start or the end of the set, do some Russian twists or upper body twists, or if you're worried about sit-ups and you feel like the motion itself dynamically is a little bit problematic, just recline about 30 to 45 degree trunk angle, and then either do some twists or even some halos of the medicine ball to provide kind of an isodynamic emphasis. Now, if you can't anchor your feet, what you can also do is do a ball sit-up or crunch variation off of a stability or med ball. Here I'm anchoring myself to a heavy medicine ball. You could also anchor your feet by taking some heavier dumbbells and putting them over your feet to kind of lock yourself down. To go bent knee. Bent knee without anchoring is pretty difficult to do even with body weight, so don't even worry about trying to do that with the actual load. And this one's great, nice good overhead positioning. You can also just go, and I encourage you whenever you can, use an ab mat to again extend that range of motion to give you a little more comfort, especially on a hard floor surface. But the overhead action is really emphasizing not going forward, but driving the arms overhead, and then really go slow for 3 to 5 seconds down. On all these drills too, we want to exhale up, inhale down, inhale, and bring that belly air right around that spine to support yourself and stabilize your spine. And if sit-ups are a little bit too problematic right now, or you're just kind of getting back into this trunk flexion variation, just go with a simple ball crunch. I can go with the just straight overhead action, or I can also add that kind of pullover action, increase the stretch and load through the core. Both options are excellent, but again, focus on going more upwards than forwards.